welcome back. This is K24 This Morning. My name is Shiku Kaitani and welcome to our social hour. Now this morning, let's chat a little bit about what we have been seeing, of course, in the news cycles for quite a while. It is another burning issue that workers/employees are dealing with, and that is employer brutality. Now, I'm sure you remember the video of the Kenyan man who was whipped by his Chinese boss. That story was reported by our very own Lennox Sengre that went on to show the kind of inhumane conditions many Kenyans work under and are willing to accept. The young man in that video is the former employee of the Chezwu restaurant. He goes by the name of Simon Osieko, and he's here today. He's not alone. He's joined by Victor Kagai, another former employee of Chezwu, who's here too to explain how they were just in that particular situation and able to endure it for 6 months or more. How did they hack this? Well, let's talk to them. Gentlemen, karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Okay, so Simon here and Victor here. Guys, everybody saw that video. It circulated on social media. How are you feeling right now? Simon, tuanze na wewe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shiko, for the welcoming.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I've come so that we can share the views. Yeah, my name is Simon Osieko. I'm from Kisii County. Now we have come to Nairobi for looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Now when you get a chance to work and you get that your rights are humiliated, you are tortured. Now it happened one day that we were working as well. We were working with my colleagues, but we realized that the Chinese restaurant guys were quite harsh. They are very arrogant.
Yeah.
They are what they know is that they have money. Now, due to money, they are trying to embarrass Kenyans.
Right.
They're trying to humiliate us. Now, you come late, you are being caned.
Yeah.
You do anything small, you are being caned. Anything you do that goes beyond their laws. Yeah. Or when you are doing anything that they don't want, I remember one day. You were serving food to the customers as normal, and I went very fast and picked the ice cubes. I understand you know them. And that man kicked me with the spoon, the huge spoon that they make food with. Yeah. Then he kicked me, and I was like, oh my God.
He hit you on the head with it.
Yeah. And my friend here told me, Simon, this is not fair.
It's not fair.
We must take a step.
Okay, Victor, let me ask you, when did you start noticing that these people are a little bit violent? Was it much later? From the beginning you could actually see easy signs?
From the beginning, because I stayed there for 2 years. Whenever they see a new staff, they usually mistreat them. Like Simon, he came like 6 months ago. Yeah. When he was treated very harsh. When he come late, been caged every time. Yeah. There was a time I was taking the video, the first one. Yeah. But the Chinese came and caught me, and then he said, "Are you recording me?" No. And then I said no. And then I canceled the.
You can delete.
You can delete the.
So you had planned to actually release these videos?
For long, yeah.
For long. So you had been trying to catch them in the act? Yeah. Okay.
Then kuna hiyo siku ya tatu tena nikajaribu. Yeah.
Akakushika.
Sasa Mkenya mwenzangu ndio alikuja. Unajua si wote tuko pamoja. Yeah. Kuna wengine wako side ya China. Kuna hata ile video wenye wanachukua video, unaona kuna watu walikuwa wanacheka behind. Yeah. So hao walikuwa side ya China. Ndio nawatetea, unaona? Oh,
so wale walikuwa wanacheka ni wa Kenya?
Wa Kenya walikuwa wanacheka, si wa China. Ndio walikuwa wanacheka. So nilichukua hiyo video, and then sasa wakaanza kuniambia, hii video usijaribu kutumia Simon nini. Nikamwambia hapa Kenya tunateswa na wa China. Na si restaurant moja. Nimefanya 3 restaurants. Zote hakuna mchana na kukritu vizuri. Yeah. Whenever una serve mchina na good heart, anakuja na kutukana. and then anakuwekea pesa kwa meza, unaona?
Yeah.
Anafanya tu una feel vibaya. Na sasa hiyo hata una transport.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anakuacha hivyo.
Simon, I don't know, you don't necessarily have to answer this question, but can you tell us about the pay? You know, would you say it was worth it? Ama pia, you know, what you're earning is, you know, was very little.
I understand, Shiko, like once you have a work, or once you know that this is where I get my food, this is where I get my everything, you have to humble yourself.
Right.
That's why I did that, but it was hurting me in my heart that how can you be caned? Really?
Come mtoto wa shule.
Come mtoto wa shule, and you are working for this guy, so that anakupea pesa na yeye unamtengenezea pesa.
Yeah.
It was painful because I went to the hospital and I was treated, and thereafter, then the next time akanichapa. Sasa kwenda polisi wakaniambia no, give us the evidence. Give us the evidence. I went to the job, wakasema we can't go there saying that we saw how you were caned.
Yeah.
Then I gave out the clip. Then it went viral.
It went viral.
Yeah.
So would you say the police did their job? Ama bado nothing has been done?
No, according to me, they did their work. And now I wish that if we as Kenyans, I wish that there is no need you work under minimum supervision, or you work under total embarrassment,
right,
whereby you are misled, to be caned, to be at easy my office. Let me tell you, under the buildings, under the whatever the workplaces that we work, kuna watu wananyanyaswa really, but we don't talk. Right. Now it's better we as Kenyans, we come out and speak loud. We have human rights. That I've gone there, I've asked for help, and they have assured me that they will help me. They will follow through. Yeah.
Victor, there are others who are also, you know, saying that how can you also be able to put up with this thing for so long? Well, umekuwa hapo almost 2 years. You know, tell us how. Why would you still be going back to work when you unaona hawa watu wanakutreat?
Unajua sasa job hakuna Kenya. Tunatafuta job. And then tunatoa hapo ndio opportunity tunaweza pata job. And then wataki mtu mwenye ako experience. Because ukijua kwanza kwa union, huwezi pewa kazi. Ndio unajua sheria.
Unaona?
Unajua sheria, so huwezi kupatia kazi. So mimi niliona tu ile kutetea wa Kenya ni sneak na nichukue hiyo video, and then nisaidie wa Kenya wenzangu wenye wanamisikilidiwa.
Okay. Have more and more people started speaking up after your video in the viral?
Ni watu wengi sana. Hata moteli nyingi sana wamenisupport na wamesupport na wametutanga kwa ile kitu yenye tumejaribu kuonyesha wa Kenya, ile kitu wanapitia. So hata I think saa hii kuna Wachina wamehofia, kuna hoteli nyingi zimefunga kwa saa hii kwa sababu ya kesi kama hii. Juu watu wengi hawana barua. Hawana barua wengi, wanakuja wakijificha, sijui wanapitia wapi. And then hata government ijui. Mimi kitu ningeomba government ifanye tu watembee hizo restaurant zingine zote, wasikile
wafanye crackdown, yani
wajue tu wahoji wa Kenya wamejitokeza, watu waogopa kusema kitu yote, kwa sababu wameona wenyewe sasa hii hao polisi wote walitake action na wakashughulikia venye inafaa kuwa.
Sasa, all right gentlemen, I'm going to leave you just for a bit. I want to get to the other side, but asanteni sana. And you know, it's at this point that we actually want to rope you in and ask you your thoughts on this. What do you even think as far as how the government is handling such cases, or the police at that? We even have a question for you of the day. And what negative experiences can you go ahead and also share working under a foreign boss? We're just going to highlight that for a second, because this is really what is, you know, out there, and actually what a lot of Kenyans are dealing with. And so we continue to ask you to give us your views through our social media platforms at K24 TV, on Instagram, Facebook, and of course Twitter. If you do want to WhatsApp us, that number is at the bottom of your screen. Now, what would you consider as brutality in the workplace? Now, some actually say it is just extreme violence. But think again, because my guest here today will actually be explaining what that term brutality does mean, and just what the law has to say about employee and worker rights. Whether you are sitting in an office or you are a domestic worker, what do you need to know? And most importantly, how do we go about creating a prevention plan? I actually do want to welcome Ruth Kakame, who is from the, listen to this, Kenya Union of Domestic Hotels, Educational Institutions, Hospitals and Allied Workers. Simply known as Kudehia, if I mentioned that right. And then we've got country manager of rangietu.org, Gloria Orwoba, here with us today. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me start off by just asking what both organizations do so that we can get a background feel and understand how you come into this particular discussion of employer brutality. Let me start off with you, Ruth.
It's Kudehia.
Yeah.
Kudehia is a trade union.
Yeah.
It's a trade union representing workers in the sectors that you just said, beginning with domestic sector. Domestic sector is a sector that organizes domestic workers. We call them house helps. Yeah. We have caretakers. We have private security. Yeah. Officers. We have private drivers. They fall under the domestic sector. And then we have also workers who are working in hotels, where my brother Simon was working from, and Victor. Yeah. Then we have workers in educational institutions, beginning from primary school, high school, technical institutions and universities, and we have also hospital workers.
All right, so you mostly champion the welfare of your members. I can imagine if you have all these people in that docket, then I mean you have a very huge membership.
Yes, yes. Our representation is diverse because you look at those workers, and in our case, it's now the lowest cadre of workers in those industries. Those are now the ones that we represent. By representing is to bring them together collectively to champion for their rights at work.
Okay. Go ahead, Gloria. Please tell us.
Rangietu is an organization that works in underserved communities. We have 4 pillars with which we run our programs with. We have the social entrepreneurship that we basically go to the underserved communities, mostly slums, and try to find entrepreneurs who are seeking to start their businesses. We guide them, mentor them, and try and give them access to capital. And then we also run a legal aid service program in the slums, basically for those people who want to seek justice but have no means to get to like legal assistance or to have their personal lawyer. And then we have civic empowerment programs as well as gender-based initiatives. You find that these programs actually intertwine. A lot of the issues we are trying to solve are around gender-based violence, in which then we give them the legal aid advice and the services that they require, and then it helps them to boost their businesses.
All right. Well, I want to say a special thank you to Gloria also, because once the story had actually leaked about the Chinese restaurant, you were very fast to get in touch and say, Shiko, we need to talk about this. And so let's just jump right into it. You heard actually what Victor said, that a lot of people probably will not get employed once, especially foreign bosses, understand that you're part of a union. Let's talk a little bit about that from your end, Ruth. What do you think? Is it advisable that, number one, employees, domestic workers, you name it, must be able to be part of some body in order to at least, get, treated well, and better?
Yes, actually it's very important, because if you look at the issue he just went through, when you join the union, we normally have works committee, and those are elected union officials who are a member of institutions, which are industries. And for his case, normally when workers go through violation of their rights, that is the first place that they normally report to before it comes to us. So in most cases, you find that in industries whereby workers have not been organized into a trade union, then reporting becomes a problem because of disclosure, because of also fear of losing jobs. And you know, our role as a trade union is to come in and engage the employer on the welfare of the workers. So it's very important for workers to join trade unions so that they can be represented, and also we can directly reach out to the employer. So you can imagine a scenario whereby the friend couldn't have taken recorded the video. Then what could have happened to Simon?
Actually, it would have just been ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. We would have never known about it if this video didn't leak. Gloria, what would you say constitutes as brutality?
So employee brutality, unfortunately, the general public basically thinks about it as a physical abuse. And even the issue that we've highlighted with Simon, it was physical, It was a case where your boss is actually physically assaulting you. But there's so many other types of employee brutality, what we call workplace violence, so to speak. You have, it's any act that causes some kind of violence or harassment or intimidation. And that can come in so many forms. Sometimes you get to work in places where your line manager is psychologically abusing you. So it means that they might not necessarily be physically coming to attack you, but their actions, the manner with which they carry themselves, how they tend to sort of supervise you, or the situations they put you in, it's actually intimidating, or it has some form of psychological abuse where it causes you a lot of anxiety. And so, you know, you might be going to work and people say, oh, you work with this very big organization, it's super, it's exciting, but you are actually, you're physically drained. Your mental state is not proper because you're constantly trying to figure out you know, what kind of mental games you need to you need to get through the day, because you know, maybe today he'll call me to the boardroom, or tomorrow she'll ask me to bring water or something. And actually, I keep telling people, you know, Kenyans are used to physical abuse because as most of us, when we grew up, we were caned. And so we always used to say, it's okay, I'll go play out until 7 o'clock. Worst case scenario, my dad will beat me up. And you know, I can deal with that. And what we can't, a majority of Kenyans actually cannot deal with psychological abuse. Because we are not even able to tell something is happening to me because this person is not beating me. So most of the cases that you see on suicide, or you know, a person goes home to kill their spouse and their children because they can't hear. When you follow up really what's happening to these people, a lot of the time they're suffering from some sort of
form of
psychological torture.
You know, and I like that you brought that out, because someone could be watching this and thinking, oh, this is only for domestic workers, or, you know.
And that is not the case.
And that's not the case. People who even have white-collar jobs also fall under this category. You just probably don't recognize that you are going through the abuse.
And it's not only that they don't recognize, it's also that we don't speak about it. When we talk about employee brutality, most of the time everybody thinks about house girls, drivers, caretakers, you know, hotel industry, that is the waiters, the cleaners in the rooms. But then, you know, Shiko, you could be sitting here, you're a presenter, white-collar job, very fancy, we see you on TV every day, but you're actually, you're suffering some form of workplace brutality in the psychological form, in the sense where it might not necessarily be psychological, it can also be an intimidation that occurs every time you walk into your office space.
Ruth, let's talk a little bit about what has also come out, even just having spoken to Simon and Victor. There's this fear, you know, that has gripped so many Kenyans, that I am willing to put up with any kind of form of harassment or brutality because I need the money. How do you go about dealing with that from even your members who tell you, but I can't report, Ruth, what's going to happen to me next?
You know, I think we need to discuss deeper violence and understand what violence is. And, you know, now with violence, it's a behavior that can be repetitive, or it can be a single occurrence. And you find that because of our tradition, that we fear losing jobs, we fear being exposed, we don't want to come to limelight and speak about the issues we go through. So most workers wouldn't want to talk about it. And also victimization at workplaces is also one reason that workers wouldn't want to talk about the issues they go through. We have a convention in place, Convention 190, that talks about ending violence and harassment in the world of work. If you look at the provisions in the convention, it clearly talks about, besides the labor rights, the human dignity of this person and how they should be respected as a worker. So besides the violation of their labor rights, it's also a violation of their human rights. That this is someone who should be treated with dignity, and of course this is someone who should enjoy their freedom of being in an environment, in a workplace that is free from violence and harassment.
So we still are looking out for your feedback on this particular discussion as we talk about employer brutality. What is your take on this? And even, do you have stories to share? How do you feel about the whole situation with foreign bosses, by the way? Why don't you talk to us at K24 TV on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, of course, through WhatsApp as well. Speaking about feedback, I would like to take a look at this text message that has come in. Good morning, I am Innocent from Nandi. Maybe we can say such bosses who even don't happen to have been in Kenya by law or through a right way makes the stakeholders and agencies involved in the government incompetent. The next step as such cases are realized also matters. Okay, thank you. Innocent from Nandi. What do you have to say about that, Gloria? Because I can see you nodding.
I definitely want to put the focus on what we tend to call expatriates. Foreigners who have come to the country and have gotten jobs. One of the things that we need to really come out and push government to act on is most of these foreigners don't even have work permits. That's the first thing. And I don't think Kenyans realize how we take a lot of things for granted. If you leave this country and go to any other country outside, particularly Europe, you're not even able to access a hospital because you don't have the legal documentation.
I mean, even look at what's happening in South Africa.
You're not. You literally permit. You can't do anything. But then, why then do we have these cases where we have expatriates coming into this country? Not only are they accessing all of our facilities and things like, but they're actually working without the legal documents. And most of the time, these are the kind of people who are the culprits. And as you can see, even with Simon's case, when they did the crackdown, they found out that those people don't have any valid work documentation. What is the government doing about this? Personally, I have gone and reported several people who I know are foreigners, I know are working in this country illegally. And you know, the most they tell you when you go to the office at the immigration, they tell you, write a letter. When you write, they tell you deposit it there, and then, okay, ni sawa. And that's that. And that's that. And then you know what happens? Because you put the contacts of those people, that is the loophole that they use now to go and collect money from those people.
So it becomes an extortion situation.
So actually what you're doing, you're encouraging this whole underworld thriving economy, where yes, the authorities go there, but what they do is they actually go and they say, yeah, you've been reported, where's your work permit? Of course, the person won't have the work permit. So
let's take a look at another text message that has come in very quickly. It says, hi, I'm Rexy watching from Runda. Good morning, my dear. Challenges I undergo working under a foreign boss is harassment. Even look at the emojis that she puts in. Plus, lifestyle here in Kenya is way different compared to theirs. So there is that space of differences plus language barrier. He's Spanish, though it made me do Spanish to make ends meet. Wow, thank you, Rexy, for that. So you can actually see what she's going through day to day, but she's able to put up with it.
And she went, the difference is, this is now where she went a step ahead to learn their language. When you leave this country to go and work in another country, before you even get documentation, you have to pass their language. So this is where, like, I mean, Kenyans, we hate ourselves, because that, at that point is where you say, first of all, this expatriate is here. Can they learn Swahili? It is mandatory in other countries for them to...
I know, it's quite vexing. All right, call us, by the way. We definitely want to hear your voice and what you have to say as far as this particular discussion is concerned. Ladies, I am dying to engage you on this article that I came across from The Guardian. Even as we get to that, I think my director is telling me we've got another text message. Okay. I work in an Indian hospital. Every mistake is punishable by salary deduction. Most of the times, no one tells you about this. You'll just receive rather a lower pay with no explanation. That in itself is harassment, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Completely wrong. No one even communicates to you to tell you why you're getting a deduction. Okay, we've got a phone call. Yes, Joshua, good morning. Hello, Joshua.
Yes, morning, Shiko.
Morning, Joshua. Karibu.
Asante sana. Kwanza pole kwa hawa vijana.
Yeah.
But allow me to say the following. Our biggest problem, Shiko, I've worked in Tanzania for about 4 years.
Yeah.
And as much as at times we view Tanzania as a backward country, you realize that there are people who are thinking or two about how their rights and welfare ought to be managed.
Yeah.
In Kenya today, and I was having this conversation with a friend there.
Yeah.
How many people who do even what you call casual jobs or maybe
yeah.
have job contracts? Remember the reason why we are having this kind of shenanigans like a grown-up man being whipped?
Yeah.
Is because you fear that you'll be sacked. Yet remember, if you had a contract and you knew that there wouldn't be any grounds to fire you, then you wouldn't really submit to such kind of indignation as a human being.
Yeah.
So at the point when your job is dependent on the mercies of your employer without a legal document or a contract that supports you, then you can only go through such. But let me say this. The people, and it's really sad that we might sound like we are actually wasting time in this kind of discussion.
Right.
The people who sit in government who ought to be sorting out these issues do not understand what you are saying. If you look at most of these Waheshimiwas and the government officials and the government itself, there are people, their kids do not go through these things. When you tell them that you've been harassed by your boss, they are the bosses themselves, they run their own companies.
Right.
So I think it's my call to Kenyans that we must stand up and fight for our rights. And finally to that Chinese guy, you know. I thought Chinese people were bright.
Yeah.
It is only common sense that if you are working in a country without a business, a family, you do not engage in some kind of nonsense so that you don't expose yourself. I think that was really a bit negative on the Chinese part. But
all right. Thank you so much, Joshua. Wow, he's brought up some, very serious points. But as we're going to a commercial break, I'm just going to give an overview of this particular article that I want us to talk about. And that obviously has to do with domestic worker safety in the Gulf, which has been quite an issue. You know how controversial it has been. People actually going to the Gulf to find work. So I want to engage you on what the reporters from The Guardian had to write about this, but we have to go to a short commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about exploitation. That's the focus of this article. Keep telling us your thoughts on this particular discussion as we talk about employer brutality. And if you have any, of course, experience in regards to this, why don't you let us know? We are definitely looking out for your feedback through WhatsApp. And we even have our question of the day to you. And we've been asking how you have gone through this, and have you gone through it? Please tell us your experience. Of course, at K24 TV is how you can reach us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Keep it K24, there's more.